Hello, everyone, and welcome to Earth Fair's Fresh Forum. Thank you so much for joining us. You know, this March, Earth Fair is acknowledging Women's History Month by highlighting a woman who has made her mark on the nutrition industry. Jenny Maxwell, CEO of JAMBAR and founder of PowerBar, is here this evening to discuss the importance of nutrition and fitness and her journey as a food scientist, competitive runner, and entrepreneur. Now, Jenny is a mother of six and a lifelong runner with a degree from UC Berkeley in nutrition and food science. She and her late husband, Brian, an Olympic marathoner, launched the entire energy bar category with the creation of Power Bar way back in 1985. Now, they sold the company to Nestle in 2000, after which Jenny focused on raising her children. After Brian's untimely death in 2004 due to a heart condition, Jenny discovered the healing power of music and became a drummer, which she found to have much in common with running. Now, years later, she's combined her passion for organic nutrition, athletics, and music with the creation of JAMBAR. Now, her company blends real food nutrition with community building philanthropy by donating 50% of net profits to organizations that support active living and music. Now, as a reminder tonight, we have a very large crowd, so we have put all participants on mute, but keep in mind we will have a full Q&A with Jenny at the end of the Fresh Forum presentation. Just make sure to direct all your questions down to that Q&A box located at the bottom of your screen. Now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Jenny Maxwell. Jenny?
Thank you, Lori. I am delighted to be with you this afternoon and this evening to share a little bit of history on PowerBar and the journey that led me to the creation of JAMBAR. And before I get into most of my presentation, I do want to mention that there are three pillars of JAMBAR that are the structure of my presentation and the structure of the company. We focus on authenticity, quality, and philanthropy. Those are the three pillars of JAMBAR. If you go back to the authenticity, I'm going to have us go all the way back to 1985 when Brian and I created PowerBar. And back in 1985, remember, there was only barely a computer. So we created a business, we created a business model, and we created a product and a process and a whole food industry, really, with PowerBar. And Brian and I were both athletes. Brian was an Olympic marathon runner, and I was, as you mentioned, a food science and nutrition major. I also have a minor in exercise physiology. And we embarked on a journey to create a food product that would give Brian a 1% advantage in his training and racing. There really didn't exist anything that athletes were using to eat. You know, they would eat dry toast or they would eat cereal. They really weren't keen on risking upsetting their stomach. So the premise of PowerBar back in the day was an easily to digest, low-fat energy food that could be eaten before training and racing. And we revolutionized the sports nutrition industry for sure. We started the formulation of PowerBar in 85. We launched PowerBar in 1987. We grew the company, as you mentioned, until 2000 when we sold and got out of the food industry. But along the way, PowerBar became a household name. PowerBar created a whole industry of energy bars, of which now there are over 150 different energy bars proliferated into incredibly different types of products and textures and ingredients and the like. So it was important that what Brian and I did with PowerBar. It was revolutionizing, it was innovative at the time, and it was a great product. And I'm very proud of what we did with PowerBar. We sold in 2000, and we also have 6 children together. So we were not only growing a successful company, we were raising a family, and we were busy. We were a busy couple. Brian unfortunately passed away tragically in 2004. And at that time in my life, I had to reinvent myself. It was incredibly traumatic to be left with 6 children. And where do I go from here? I had to reinvent myself. And that's when music came into my life. And I don't know the reasons why. I mean, it came down from the heavens. Music was healing. And the drumming spoke to me. You know, I've been an athlete my whole life, and the drumming was really natural for me to feel that tempo, the rhythm, the 4-limb independence that goes into drumming, particularly jazz drumming, which I specialize in. And the drumming was just something I just immersed my whole self into drumming. It was about raising my kids and playing the drums. So I took up drumming in 2007. It took about 10 years to become proficient and got into 2 different bands. I'm in 2 bands right now. I play at the California Jazz Conservatory, and music is a huge part of my life. JAMBAR is a manifestation of a transition in my life, carrying forward really my experience with the food industry and believing in myself that I could create something great. I was looking at the energy bar section in the grocery store, and I just didn't see anything I liked. For one reason or the other. It was either too sweet, too processed, not enough proteins, not organic, or didn't taste good, right? There really wasn't anything on the market that I really felt good about eating. And I was sitting at the kitchen table with my daughter, Julia, and she says, Mom, with your background in food science and nutrition as an athlete, why don't you work on something that's great? Why don't you work on a new energy bar? So I did, and I worked on JAMBAR for over 4 years. Actually, ironically, with the same mixer that I used to create Power Bar. And what I wanted with JAMBAR was I wanted something real food. So I wanted it to be as close to nature as possible. I wanted to use less refined ingredients. I wanted to have innovative grains. It's a grain-based product. So I wanted innovative grains that deliver the texture I wanted as well as the fiber and the protein that come from these innovative grains, like sorghum, quinoa, brown rice, and our first ingredient is oat bran. So I wanted this to be a gluten-free, innovative grain-based product. And I wanted to use real sweeteners from nature, not starch manufactured sugars that a lot of other products use, brown rice syrup, tapioca syrup, or something like that. I wanted to use a real sweetener. I use maple syrup, and then we use a little bit of accent of sweetener from grape, dates, and honey. And I wanted to be a good source of protein. And so I was really looking at the innovation in plant proteins that's currently going on. And I worked with a lot of different plant proteins and decided to use a sunflower seed protein in the jam and jazzleberry and the musical mango. So there's 10 grams of protein in each bar. And those 2 fruit-based products have sunflower protein, and the chocolate and the malt nut have a very, very high quality whey-based protein from dairy. So everything in a jam bar is really, really high quality. And was my emphasis really, is I wanted this to taste as good as it possibly can and deliver on great nutrition. Everything's organic. Everything in a jam bar, you can eat off a spoon. That's one of our mottos at JAMBAR. The fruit that's in the musical mango, for instance, are big chunks of fresh dried mango that you can see and you can taste. They're delightful. We cut the mango ourselves. And the jam and jazzleberry is a combination of strawberry, blueberry, raspberry, and blackberry. The chocolate is a fair trade chocolate with 3 kinds of chocolate in the chocolate cha-cha, and that's cocoa, unsweetened chocolate, and milk chocolate. And then the malt nut melody is a combination of peanut butter, sesame, vanilla, and malt. So a lot of thought and care went into the formulation of JAMBAR. Like I said, it took me 4 years. And once I got a formula that I was really happy with, I realized very quickly that this wasn't going to be a co-packed product. Most small energy bar companies, startups will have a co-packer. Someone else will make the product for them. And I decided that, well, we're going to have to control our quality. So I formed a team of people that helped me find a facility that we renovated and bought equipment. We have state-of-the-art equipment in our facility in San Rafael, California. And we spent over a year installing the equipment. And I have an incredibly dedicated team of employees where we make our incredibly high quality product in our own facility. And I also realized along the way that even though I have a great product, I need a bigger purpose for the company. And I realized what's really important to me, along with music and sports, is really community. So how do I combine community with a great product that adds so much value to the world, so much goodness to the world, so much greatness with this product? And I decided to have a company that would donate 50% of our profits to organizations that promote music and active living. And we do this through the Marine Community Foundation. And we partner with all kinds of different organizations promoting children's music education and live performance, concert series, all kinds of different musical education. We also have a big influence on community through athletic events, whether it's running races, biking rides, climbing gyms, trail maintenance. We do local events like the local San Rafael, for instance, softball team, all the way to national events through Positive Coaching Alliance, which is mentorship for at-risk youth in communities all across the country with mentorship and coaching after school sports. So we really do involve ourselves in community with JAMBAR for providing product and providing help at events as well. We attend a lot of the events that we get involved with. We are involved with about 20 to 25 events a month. So it's a pretty big effort on the part of the company and our employees to get out into the community and provide JAMBAR and the awareness of how important it is to be active and be conscious about what you're eating. And we feel like JAMBAR is unique in the industry with its quality, with its give back program, with its ingredients, and with the history of the Power Bar legacy and authenticity, our quality, and our bigger goal of being philanthropic. We have a lot of partners that are wanting to join the JAMBAR team. And we have Ali Tetrick in pro cyclist. We have Johnny Mosley, Olympic gold medalist, a local guy out of Tiburon, close to San Rafael. We've got Brian McClellan and freestyle skiing, and many more that really want to be part of the excitement JAMBAR is bringing into the grocery industry and food industry in general. I know that in Asheville, we are involved with the Asheville Marathon that's coming up, and we have some local athletes that we're sponsoring in Asheville. We put on some large events this last year in 2022, big series on Mount Tam. And then like I said, we have a lot of very small events. So it's really a community effort by all of our employees and such a great product. I feel very privileged and fortunate that I have the drive, ambition to create JAMBAR and to bring it into the world. So I have some stories here about, I think there's just a lot of excitement about it. I'm trying to provide a model really for other companies to give back to community, because it's not just about creating more and more money for everyone. It's really about bringing your heart into what you do and being the best person that you can be, and following your passions. And Brian and I followed our passions with Power Bar in the 80s, and I found a new passion with music and with JAMBAR and what that means to bring a passionate product into the marketplace. We've won awards. We have the Bicycling Bar of the Year and a Runners World Bar of the Year. That we already have those two awards in 2023, and we're getting great reception in the marketplace with JAMBAR. So it's all we're jamming ahead, and I'm happy to take any questions that anyone in your audience has.
Wonderful, Jenny. Thank you so much. Extremely educational. And I must say the musical mango is my absolute favorite. I actually have a question for you, if you don't mind. What influenced the final 4 flavors, would you say? How did you come up with those 4?
I think I came up with, I was looking at the what was available for fruits, and the berries are freeze dried. And just that, actually, when I was first formulating JAMBAR, I had the berry was separated. I had a blueberry flavor, I had a strawberry flavor, and I had like a mixed berry flavor. And I realized with the seasonality of berries that it was better if I just combined them all, because then I wouldn't be short on a berry if we didn't have a good blueberry season, for instance.
Right.
So I worked with berries, and then the mango was just such a natural with the chewy texture of fresh mango, dried mango like that.
Yeah, again, my absolute favorite. Very, very delicious. And
Right.
you guys are going back to the community aspect. You're doing so many great things out in the community, and Earth Fair and JAMBAR's, our missions align with one another when it comes to that community involvement. And you guys have been so gracious. You've been donating products to our community events, our 5Ks, our marathons, our half marathons. I know you guys have participated within our Charleston, South Carolina market, our Williamsburg, Virginia market. Coming up, we have some events here in Asheville, like you mentioned, and we can't thank you enough. Your support and JAMBAR's support truly goes a long way. And we just look forward to a continued partnership with providing our communities that we serve with a healthy, delicious bar such as JAMBAR. So thank you so much for helping us to support the communities that we serve. And so great. Well, at this point in time, we will now start the official Q&A session with Jenny. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to our Earth Fair moderator. And we just ask that you don't ask any questions pertaining to personal medical questions or anything related to personal medical. We just ask that you set that aside. But other than that, Earth Fair moderator, if you don't mind, take it away for us.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. And thank you so much for that, Jenny. That was really entertaining.
Thank you.
I think we must have some entrepreneurs in our audience, because we have some questions about what advice you would have for people who have that passion to bring a new food product to market. What should they know when they're getting started?
You have to be very clear on your vision, right? You have to have a vision, first of all, and you have to be very clear on your vision, because it's very competitive. So you have to differentiate your product somehow and be clear on your vision, that you can communicate how you are different in the marketplace and really what value you add to the marketplace.
And speaking of that, you mentioned how for the creation of JAMBAR, you felt that there really wasn't a bar on the market that that you liked, whether they were too sweet and you also mentioned too processed. Can you talk a little bit more about why being overly processed was problematic for you?
I think I really love energy bars. So if I'm going to eat one or two a day, then I would rather eat something that's super healthy. And I try to avoid highly processed food. And I honestly think that less processed food tastes better.
Absolutely. Well, I know Earth Fair agrees. That's the big part of our philosophy as well.
Yeah.
Speaking of energy bars, there are so many on the market, and I think there's a lot of confusion around which one is best for whom. Can you talk a little bit about what you think is the right ratio of carbs to protein to fat, and maybe what people should be looking for when they're picking the right bar for them?
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting nutritional advice, very interesting topic. And it really depends on the person in terms of each person has a different level of need for carbohydrates, fuels, protein. The more active person will typically be able to have a little higher carbohydrate percentage. I recommend somewhere between 60 to 65% carbs. As an athlete, for sure, that is your fuel of preference will be simple carbs. But not just simple carbs. You want to make sure that your simple carbs have a good amount of protein and some fat, so that you can control the digestion of those simple carbs, so it doesn't get you a flood of insulin into your system. So JAMBAR is 65% carbs, half simple, half complex, and around 15 to 20% protein, and the balance of fat around 10 to 15% fat. So it actually conveniently is about what I would recommend overall for a pretty healthy diet. Depending on the person, there are some variations to that, of course, exceptions, but in general, I think those tend to be pretty good ratios.
We had another question just come in. They're asking if you can speak to the sweeteners that you choose for JAMBAR.
Yeah, sweeteners are a huge topic, right? And my motto, and I think that Earth Fair agrees, is you want to stay as close to nature as you can. I really do think that the human body knows the difference between a real sugar and a manufactured sugar, whether it be a fake sugar, whether it be a manufactured sugar, a sugar substitute, a non-nutritive, no-calorie sugar. I think that the human body really, whether it's your intestines, whether it's your brain, your stomach, chemicals, your body is a complex system, conglomerate of systems. And my mentality is that you really should stay as close to nature as possible and eat real food. And so I wanted to use sugar that exists in nature. And so I chose maple syrup for its incredible taste and the way that it adds flavor to the product and is lower glycemic index than a lot of the other natural sugars. It's a very low glycemic index, which is great for that, monitoring your sugar absorption. And then a little bit of sugar from grapes, date, and honey. So again, sugars that exist in nature was really important to me.
Along those lines too, can you talk about the kinds of protein that you use in your bar and exactly how and why you chose those as those protein sources?
Yeah, with protein, I think protein, as well as sugar, is an important hot topic in nutrition. And protein is a very important part of a healthy diet. Protein can provide a lot of satiating qualities and overall in your diet and in an individual food product as well. So I wanted to have a good amount of protein, which for me was 10 grams in an energy bar. And I also wanted to provide a product that would appeal to people that want to avoid animal proteins. So I wanted a sunflower seed protein, which is very high quality, complete protein from plants, sunflower seeds. And I also want to provide a protein from whey, which is dairy, for those people that are fine with eating a dairy protein. Both those proteins are extremely high quality and taste super good. At the end of the day, it really has to taste good if you're not going to enjoy what you're eating, and you really want to enjoy what you're eating.
We must have a trivia lover here in our audience because someone is asking, what is the first Power Bar flavor that was ever created?
Good question. That is chocolate and malt nut, which ironically are the two flavors of JAMBAR. So we came out with chocolate and malt nut in 1987, and those were our two flavors, only two flavors, for about a year and a half to 2 years. And then I did a wild berry, and then several flavors after that.
Awesome. Switching back to the JAMBARs, with everything being so unprocessed and so fresh, what is the shelf life of a JAMBAR? Yeah, the shelf life of a JAMBAR is a year. Of course, I have eaten products, JAMBARs that extend beyond a year, but on the wrapper, it's a year. They don't crumble. They don't melt, which is really interesting and great for summer months. And that's why they're great to put in your backpack or purse or in your car, but it's a year. Got another question here about your company. Can you describe the culture of your company? You touched on it a little bit, but I think we'd like to hear more about that.
Sure. So in JAMBAR, I would say it's participation is important, right? I would say that we have very unilateral management. I think leadership is super important. I provide the leadership and the vision, but every employee here has a voice. Every employee here has an opinion that's going to be heard. And we will have profit sharing that will be distributed through all employees so that you really feel part of the greater purpose of JAMBAR.
Wonderful. Do we have any other questions? We've got a few minutes left if there's anyone else out there with a burning question. In the meantime, Lori, do you want to tell us where we can find JAMBAR at Earth Fair?
Absolutely. So JAMBAR can be found at our Earth Fair locations, right in our grocery department in the nutritional bar section. And the packaging with JAMBAR, it really stands out, so you won't be able to miss it. Again, you have to try the musical mango one, top notch, my favorite. But they are very chewy. They're not overly sweet. They have a fabulous flavor, so I highly recommend getting some for a snack for you, the kids. With summer coming up and road trips, they're perfect to throw in your bag. Like Jenny mentioned, they don't crumble, they don't melt, they just have a great texture. So definitely you can find them right in our grocery department.
Wonderful.
All right. Well, Jenny, thank you so much for your time today. I know you are an extremely busy woman with a phenomenal company.
Thank you.
Great team members that I've been working with, and I can't speak more highly of you guys. So really appreciate your time. You have a phenomenal story, and you should be very proud of everything.
Thank you. We're super happy to be partnering with Earth Fair.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to a continued partnership. And everyone, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We will be posting this video on Earth Fair's YouTube channel, and we'll send out that link via email within the next 24 to 48 hours. We will also post this video on Earth Fair's website. So we'll make sure to put all that information in email so you can easily find it, watch it, share it with friends and family. Again, such a great story. But again, Jenny, thank you. We really appreciate your time, and I hope everyone has a fabulous evening. Thanks all.
Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.